and welcome back to a new episode of the Bloodborne playthrough. This little nostalgia run that we're doing on our Arcane character, which is not very Arcane based. Currently, the maximum Arcane usage that we have on this character comes from Molotov cocktails and oil urns, which doesn't feel all that magical, but that's not what Arcane's really about in this game. However, I do now have the flamethrower, the flame spewer, that consumes my quicksilver bullets as it channels, and is actually scaled with Arcane. So this is somewhat like your wand or staff that you would find in a Souls game. Your early game, weak little charm to use and use magic. But instead of magic, it's more, well, real world means, i.e. shooting a flamethrower. I will be using a lot of blood bullets to make full use of this weapon, but generally I'll only be using it against specific enemies. Maybe throw it out there against a big bad beast. Rarely, but saving it for bosses. We're all fashioned up, we're ready to go, and we really want to unlock today, as a little objective, we want to start using the Kirkhammer. It requires 10 skill, which we have 9, and 16 strength, which we have 10. So we need to level 7 times to actually be able to use it, and we're going to try do that in this little session, start using that weapon. For now though, let's bounce on over to the Cathedral Ward and see if there's any progression here with the NPCs that we've currently encountered. Alright, we got the old lady now, having told her about Oedon Chapel and its safe house.
Oh no, I haven't forgotten. Do you think I owe you something? Well, that's a fine lark, I'd say. This old mess that Yharnam's in, it's all your fault. Stupidity outsiders. Our blood's ruined, tainted by your ilk. Don't you come near me. I know your type.
Wow. She's so horrible. It's unbelievable. She's just so mean. And sometimes I can't take it. I cry at night when she bullies me like this. You're not a very good grandmother. So she actually acknowledges there that she knows that their blood is tainted. And, you know, the beast infection and scourge is just a terrible thing, and a really bad sort of state of their civilization is caused primarily by their tainted blood. But they blame the tainted blood entirely on outsiders. And we have nothing to do with that.
You. Stay away from me. I know all your tricks.
I don't really have that many party tricks, to be honest. Not that kind of orc. Alright, we got our first churchy... I don't know what to call them. They're humanoids, right? But then you take a proper look at their face. Look at that. They're pretty horrifying. Oh no, the roll attack does a little poke, doing significantly less damage. Something I'm going to have to look out for when I'm two-handing it like this. I will be changing the weapon very soon though. But yeah, they've just got this pale skin. The eyes are like dead. You know, they're just like black holes on his face. They're almost zombie-like to me, I feel. Some crows around here and a hidden item. There we go. And Madman's Knowledge. This is something that I just wanted to bring up very briefly that I didn't really mention. Madman's Knowledge quite literally depicts something very important to this universe, this game. You have a skull, and you have knowledge inside the skull, but it's not like a X-ray. It's quite literally knowledge inside the skull breaking out And you can actually see like the stars and the cosmos behind it in reference to where it's coming from, right? But the point is, it is breaking the skull apart. The knowledge is too much to bear for this Yharnamite and this skull. Is that better? There we go. Audio fixed. So, quicksilver bullets I can still just make use of generally for parrying. Or I could just let him hit me, you know, multiple times. There we go. But generally when I'm using my arcane-based weaponry, what you'll see me do a lot of is imbue blood bullets. So if I press up, I can take a different vial, and you can see the quicksilver bullets now say, you know, 12 plus 5. So I've actually increased how many blood bullets I have by sacrificing health. So I've generated 5 blood bullets on top of my 12 quicksilver bullets. And you can actually do sort of a unlimited supply of quicksilver bullets by just using blood bullets. They poke people they poke fun at people who use shields and just say, this is, in the dev's words, not a game for shields. A crude wooden shield used by the masses who have arisen to join the hunt. Hunters do not normally employ shields, ineffectual against the strength of the beast as they tend to be. Shields are nice, but not if they engender passivity, i.e. shields are, you know, a cool concept, but when the player is using it to turtle and is always playing defensively, it's not that interesting. It's quite disappointing. In PvP, if you face a turtle knight in Dark Souls, it's irritating. The person just continuously backs off and keeps hiding behind their shield. It's annoying to fight. And the way that you beat it is by sort of forcing your way through their stamina. By just berating your attacks against their shield, consuming their stamina until they have none left. These guys are quite deceptively fast, I feel. And despite me using a big axe, they don't get staggered. First of all, get a sweet hat. I love that. I believe that didn't catch me the first time. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone who's watched the original playthrough. I love the visual of it. It'd be cool if we had like an arcane spell that was linked to that. As for now, I'll offer no explanation as to what that is and leave it as what it is, a mystery at this time. You alright, mate? Big boy? He's just blind, apparently. I'm stood right next to you and you're just gonna ignore me like that? That is disrespectful. He's so scary. Deceptively fast. Like all big guys in this game, really. Look at the speed of those swings. With good footwork, you don't really have to dodge here. But as I commit to swinging, I do have to dodge a couple of strikes. A couple of blood vials. I must admit to not really knowing the origin of those guys. I don't really understand how they came to be. In fact, whoever these church people are, only a special emblem could open that gate, and then we see an emblem or sigil on the gate here of two people looking into what seems to be like a cup. and it's filled with a liquid. Most likely blood. All blood. Anyway, we've seen that sigil or symbol elsewhere. We've actually seen it in the shop. It's to do with the end of the hunt. The captain of the church, he goes through that gate, and that signals the end of the hunt. And it costs us 10,000 souls to buy it from the shop, and I do not want to part with that, so we'll have to find a different way. But yeah, the church guys, I need to learn more about them. They're involved with Menzies. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Round 2, you son of a gun. Let's see what you got. Oh, there you go. I was probably just thinking that the charge attack was when I'm supposed to land my attack. But actually, he charges, then pulls out a hit after. So charge does not actually count as a hit. I'd love to know the explanation of why there are different sizes to these people. He's obviously, you know, a Yharnamite. The same as the other ones. But the difference with him is, well, he's bloody massive, isn't he? But even so, just like them, he's wearing the same sort of white rags down his arm. And you can see the fur sort of pushing out. When he turns into a beast, perhaps he just turns into a bigger one than the rest. But I don't think we've seen anything of his particular size. You might argue, well, what about the guys that, you know, the wolves on the bridge? That bridge there at the entrance. You might be right. But I think there's something else. A monocular used to view things up close. Not a hunter's tool, but a simple antique. To be used as one sees fit. Such as the law. At least in this game you can move when you zoom in. I don't believe you could move in Dark Souls 1. I think you could do it in Dark Souls 3. Can't remember with Dark Souls 2. Down here with the aqueduct and the second bridge where there's an ogre that pushes a fireball. This should lead up via the elevator there. And we actually have the bridge itself leading over to where we fought the cleric beast. So right there should be the normal entrance leading up to this area. But at this time, it was closed. We couldn't pass that way. There is a door there. And it has some interesting details about it that we'll talk about when we get there in a sec. Oh, we're getting loads of these shards, man. We're ready to upgrade this Kirkhammer when we do get it. Right, so there's one of the... I think this is the first one. The Crystal Lizards of Bloodborne. I don't recall their official name. It's something madness. If anyone knows the official name of these, that'd be great. Let me know. So I need to destroy that before he fully awakes. He's a really dangerous enemy. He can one-shot you. Visually, he's horrifying as well. There we go. We got it. And his range is deceptive even. You know, it's quite far. But he works just like the other one in terms of damage. So I'm at just two-hand. You can stagger him. You can visceral these as well. But I'm not sure I'll be able to do that this time. I think it requires a sort of headshot. Let's do a power attack. No visceral. I want to pull him away because he's kind of stuck. That swing attack's the scary one. Gotta respect him. Pull away while he has his little tantrum. Let's finish the job. One more swing. There we go. Unique enemy. I actually don't recall any other of these big fellas with this flaily ball. I guess what it is actually a, you know, something you would put on a prisoner. A weight to prevent their escape. And yet he uses it like a bloody massive weapon. Right, let's have a quick look at this. They're known as Wandering Madnesses. It's a scurrying beast, otherwise known as the Wandering Madness. Yeah, I knew madness was in the name. Wandering Madness. So, you know, works just the same as the Dark Souls Crystal Lizard. A thing that runs away from you, that has valued resources attached to it. It is a small, scurrying thing of tendrils and heads. Faces sort of spewing out of the mass. It's horrifying. I feel like it would cause madness for, you know, if you're just a guy walking around in Yharnam, you see one of those. You probably think you are mad. And reasonably so. I mean, Jesus. Hey, Miss Amy Hoyle. Thank you so much for the 18-month resub. Welcome back. 18. Wow, this went fast. I know. Really fast. Thank you so much and welcome back. Check out more incense urns here. Just as a little safe area. A very hidden safe area under the bridge. And more bones inside. I don't see if they're beast bones. To me, they just look like human bone. With a tempering blood gemstone. Very good. So this is the door right here. Closed. I'm not really sure why they didn't... I mean, I guess it's because it doesn't matter. You know, there's a bonfire in the Oedon Chapel not even like 1 minute away from here. But if I could open this door from this side, what it would do is just, you know, give me access to the bridge. This is literally the door on the bridge of the Cleric Beast. And the way people can sort of verify this, that it is the same door, is they put a shining coin down. And I should be able to see that same glare on the other side when I come here. So we might check that at one point. But hey, we did actually get, oh, very valuable. Very happy to see it. A tempering blood gemstone. Our first one outside of the, you know, the droplet that we found. A blood gem that fortifies weapons and adds various properties. Especially rare bloodstones that grow in cold blood. Blood gems are needed into the weapon, as we've read before. Most radical blood gems have effects that bear upon physical attacks. Radical. That's not how it's pronounced. I just said a different word. Shall I just call them radical gems from now on? So the original one is all about hunters and, you know, the gratitude for the victims because it gains strength. Then you get to a new level, the thick versus the normal. A thick droplet of cold blood. A strong will produces thick blood. Doubtless, the product of obsession, a potent source of human strength. A little reference, I suppose, to the fact that human willpower in itself, can be very weak. You know, you just got normal blood, I guess. Or very strong. And I suppose it's true that when you are obsessed with something, your willpower to pursue that thing is certainly higher than if you had like a normal, I guess, interest in something. I suppose it is possible, given the way that they're all addicts, they're all mad, they're all beasts. It could even be the case that pretty much everyone is obsessed with something to some degree in this little area, in this city. I'd like to position myself here near the bonfire because the dog will actually run into it here if you let it, or if you're patient and let it, you know, patrol near it. This time I was not patient. An old church building. And here he is. I'm excited about talking to him. This madman. This fella up there, you can just see him. You can see him right now. You want to talk about obsession? Well, we found some obsession right there. Let's go talk to him. Guessing this is going to go on YouTube as well? Yes. Alright. We'll just line of sight the, gun dudes. Take out the dogs. And then moving up. I am happy that the speed at which the bullets fly out at you are generally the same as if they were arrows. Because you can just casually sort of sidestep them like I did there without needing to dodge. And it's a very subtle gameplay change. Instead of just dodging everything, just sidestepping it. But it looks so slick. I love it. Alright, you devil. You absolute monstrosity. This man is an executioner. It's fitting that he's here. In between a bunch of tombstones and coffins hidden away under the pavement there.
You're a beast hunter, aren't you? I knew it. That's precisely how I started out. Oh, beg pardon. You may call me Alfred, protege of Master Ligarius, hunter of vile bloods. So, what say you? Our prey might differ, but we are hunters, the both of us. Why not cooperate and discuss the things we've learned?
So he's someone that has joined the hunter group, probably the church, given his garb. I've only just noticed now for the first time he actually has the downward sigil of the hunter. You know, that same rune that we're using. When you slap it to your head, it returns you to the dream. Isn't it interesting how he has that same sigil on his garb? Alright, let's cooperate. I could do with a friend.
Oh, very good. Very good indeed. Take this to celebrate our acquaintance.
Oh, thank you. That is very generous of you. Nah, I don't need that one.
Beast hunting is a sacred practice. May the good blood guide your way.
The good blood. Not the bad blood. Not the vile blood. Reference?
There must be oodles for us to share. Go on. Just tell me what piques your interest.
So just actually tell you a bit of information about both the Healing Church and Byrgenwerth, which is, I don't know, very useful, very good context. And if you don't go and talk to him, you completely miss out on this.
As you know, the Healing Church is the fountainhead of blood healing.
Yep.
Well, I'm a simple hunter, quite unfamiliar with the ins and outs of the institution. But I have heard that the holy medium of blood healing is venerated in the main cathedral, and that counselors of the old church reside in the high stratum of the Cathedral Ward. If you seek blood healing, and the church is willing, you should pay them a visit.
Great information. Great information. Firstly, we find out Alfred's not really high ranking in the Church of Hunters, okay? And he gives us 2 bits of information about, like, advice where to go. If I'm seeking pale blood and specific blood, okay, go up to the main cathedral, right? There's probably something there. We know what's up there, but it's not what he thinks of, you know, people that are still working there. And then the upper administration of the Healing Church, also known as the choir, up in the tower above Oedon Chapel, above that ward.
Byrgenwerth is an old place of learning, and the tomb of the gods, carved out below Yharnam, should be familiar to every hunter. Well, once a group of young Byrgenwerth scholars discovered a holy medium deep within the tomb. This led to the founding of the Healing Church and the establishment of blood healing. In this sense, everything sacred in Yharnam can be traced back to Byrgenwerth. But today, the college lies deep within a tangled wood, abandoned and decrepit. And furthermore, the Healing Church has declared Byrgenwerth forbidden ground. It's unclear how many of its scholars remain alive, but only they know the password that allows passage through the gate.
Okay. Well, they're holding that area at ransom, Byrgenwerth. Byrgenwerth is finally referenced. One of the sort of three main factions of Yharnamites to do with the gods, we'll call them for now. We do get some good information about how they're sort of holding it ransom and won't let anyone down there. But it's the origin right there of blood, the Healing Church, of the hunters, well, the church hunters. And everything that Yharnam holds sacred, like the whole city is 90% or more, he thinks it's 100%, all on the side of the church. And they let the church manipulate them. In fact, who is it that blames the outsiders? Because we're hearing all this stuff from many, many Yharnamites about how it's the old outsiders' fault that our blood is corrupted. But it was the church that brought in the old blood in the first place, started dabbling in blood, changing the civilians' blood. And then, with it, beasts.
I bid you farewell. It has been a pleasure. May the good blood guide your way.
The fact that he says good blood is a direct reference to vile blood. Quite literally what he feels is bad blood. It's not like, I don't know, vile blood ain't healthy. Vile blood ain't pretty. But it isn't inherently bad. And neither is what he considers, you know, the old blood. He doesn't consider that anything but good, but it isn't inherently good either. In fact, you know, it's terrible. Right, I should pull this back while I'm up here and reveal, dun dun dun, a secret passage hidden away. Alright, mate. One thing about Bloodborne is that they really rapidly reduced the power of plunging attacks, which I've never liked. It's really satisfying, plunging attacks. I love them. And the fact that they're really weak in this game is upsetting. I wonder why they decided to make plunging attacks significantly weaker in Bloodborne. I wonder if it was like a design choice based on the way the game's laid out, or they just didn't think about it. I feel like everything that they do, in terms of big design choices like that has to be done for a specific reason, intentionally. Oh, it's suddenly very dark down here. Surprise attack! It's a beast. Thankfully, it's only one. I'll carve a hole in its side. Ooh, we have quite a lot of blood shards now. 18 required to get something from 0 to +3. We can now use 8 of those to upgrade our flame thrower to +3. And then save the rest for our Kirkhammer that's going to come online soon. We have almost 10,000 souls. And we have some cold blood that we can pop as well to push us up on the way. 7 levels required. Wow, that's a big donation. Thank you, Secret Agent Dan, for the £20 donation. God damn, dude. What up, Hollow? And such a short message, dude. Thank you, Dan. You've been very supportive of me over a long period of time, and it is very much appreciated. I am currently just loving the hell out of Bloodborne. Small, why am I saying dinner? Medicinal. Jeez. Tablets that counteract poison. Used to treat ashen blood. The baffling sickness that ravaged Old Yharnam long ago. These tablets only provide short-term relief. The Ash and Blood ailment eventually triggered the spread of the beastly scourge. Ash and blood is what causes poison, instead of like what you might consider poisonous in our world, in the real world. Imagine your blood being like ash-like. The thought is vile. In the secret passageway. This town is long abandoned and hunters are not wanted here. I love the way that it rips the message apart. I guess what that signifies is that it's an extremely old message because, by God, look at the state of it. It's been there a while. It's pixelated. It's been there so long. But it's been there a long time. It's being eaten away. Just being destroyed. But it has not been broken in half. Since that message has been placed, not a single hunter has come down here.
You there? Hunter! Didn't you see the warning?
Voice acting's great.
Turn back at once. Old Yharnam, burned and abandoned by men, is now home only to beasts. They are of no harm to those about. Turn back, or the hunter will face the hunt.
He threatened me. That's him right there. Djura. An old hunter. I believe he was from the time of German. And he is actually a renowned hunter himself. Respected, to be sure. And what's notable about Djura is he is, you know, once a contracted hunter, but he has completed his hunt. He has completed his contract. So he's more of a former hunter, as he's not an active one. Now, I could step this way, but I'm going to just run around down here real quick so I can get this wandering madness. There we go. Another 3 shards. We did leave a bunch of items up there, so it's important that I do immediately turn back from here. But I believe that this time all I can do is run down here and come back up. So it's kind of the right time to do this. And I get the upgraded torch down here as well. So the dudes down here are quite weak to my flamethrower. So this is the point of Arcane, to use the weakness of your enemies against them. I can hear one breathing around here. Oh no, no! I pressed the wrong button. Look at the damage. It's a +3 flamethrower, man. Oh, God, and they're weak to fire. Do you see what the point of Arcane is all about, man? It's just, when you find the weakness of something and then use it against them, it's just so effective. I love it. God. Alright, what do we just get? We got the Hunter's Torch. So instead of just the normal torch, we have the Hunter's version. It's a torch formed by wrapping a pine resin drenched cloth around the end of a long stick. Looks exactly the same. Once used in Old Yharnam, it's designed to incinerate beasts and victims touched by the scourge. Its fire damage is highly effective against beasts, so it's an item that you can use, irrelevant of an arcane type, to slap these guys and stagger them because they hate to be burned. And it weirdly, look at that, scales at a B rating, higher than my flame sprayer with Arcane. But the base damage is much lower, and obviously the tick rate of the damage is going to be a lot slower too than the flame spewer. Alright, let's pop on down. This is in fact a shortcut that we cannot open or access at this time. Let's climb back up. Hey, Jet. No, this is our first one. We keep him alive. I believe the rarity of doing so is almost secret knowledge. It is definitely arcane-based knowledge to keep Djura alive. But yes, I will, of course, be keeping him alive. God, I'm excited about speaking to him. I love him. He's just such a great character. His voice acting is, God, the cream of the crop. He actually does another line. He's actually in Dark Souls. I can't remember which character he plays, though, in Dark Souls. Alright. Our first look at the beasts. Proper look, since they're not shrouded. The beasts of Old Yharnam. These are essentially just what you would expect to see the Yharnamites up above looking like when they're fully beast form. There's not really any form of humanity left there. I don't really know why they're so small. You know, you do actually see some Yharnamites, you know, basically beast moded up when we're in like the sewer area. And they're gangly and tall and horrifying. Swing very viciously. But they still use weaponry, so I suppose that's the secret. They still clothe themselves. So they must have some form of human senses left, where these guys are, you know, fully beasted. That's probably the difference. Height-wise, maybe it's just a video game thing, so that there is more of a difference in their design, rather than lore-wise. He voices Marvelous Chester. Ah! God, of course, Chester's one of my favourite characters, and amazingly, he's a reference to Bloodborne, prior to its conception. No wonder I love him so much. God, oh man, I wonder what Chester... Oh god, that's going to be great. I wonder what Chester's going to look like in the Dark Souls 1 remaster. Because he's going to look a lot higher quality.
You are a skilled hunter. Adept, merciless. Half cut with blood, as the best hunters are.
Okay, we're just playing it safe right now. There we go. We're a good hunter. Apparently, he likes us. Yeah, I wonder what his armor's going to look like in Dark Souls 1 Remaster in terms of quality. Probably make it look very similar, but it'll be nice to see it, you know, upgraded, let's say. And hopefully, maybe even more looking like a Bloodborne character. The problem with this weapon is that it swings so slowly, even in its quick mode. I'm getting hit by the guys that swing particularly quick. The beasts. I look forward to using the Kirkhammer soon because it is, you know, also a sword and that swings quicker than this axe. More variance between the two versions by far. Alright, I'm a good hunter. That's nice. Thanks for saying that, dude.
Which is why I must stop you.
Oh no! A twist! Hey, I'm over here. Oh! I'm over here. Oh! A goddamn chain gun, dude. That's not safe. He is part of the Powder Keg faction of hunters. They did a lot of discovery and very clever designs. They were an early faction of the Hunters. You could think of them as like inventors. They took Gehrman's original ideas and not necessarily got rid of them, not all, but they improved upon them in a more explosive way. They're like hunter specialists, actually, is the great way to say it. They specialize in the explosive tools of the hunters. Molotov cocktails and such, they found different ways to improve them. I believe they were the people that made the timed Molotov cocktails, and the Molotov cocktails that have a rope on them that allow you to sort of drop them behind you. Of course, they have other advantages and concepts too. Right, this is a bit of a scary area because he shoots his chain gun. There it is. And he might hit one of those fire pots. I don't want to get hit by these explosions. Yeah, that made sense, dude. You got a bit stuck, didn't you? Alright, let's go quick. Ah, haha. Mate, what is that aim? You're supposed to aim at me. He aimed right at the goddamn explosive urns. He knows what he's doing. There we go. More shards. Do we actually have another 18 for the Kirkhammer now? We do. Bang on 18. Awesome. Clearly I am a master counter. I'll be over here. Cool. Worries about the pots, runs directly to a pot. I ran to the side. If he was to shoot accurately at me, he wouldn't have shot that. Look at the, oh god, look at the moon. The background there. Haven't really looked up at it in this playthrough, have I? So ominous, so low, so close. Anyway, who's in there? Oh my god! You know, in this area, it might not be a bad idea to swap from my current setup. I currently have my hunter pistol and then my flame spewer. And I will be using the flame spewer in a different area soon. But while I'm in these more one-on-one environments, why don't we put on the hunter's torch, which scales oh so effectively, and make use of it, since it's a quick attack. And of course they're very weak to fire. And since I'm also scaling with Arcane, and it scales with Arcane, do even more damage. I love the AI programming here, like, they've got them running into the... Oh god. Oh no! They've got them running into the shadows, the fog, so I can't see them. Now they remember how bad fire burns, so they're a little bit scared of it. But they will still strike out. Burn! Boom! That's right, burn! There we go. I'd say the flame sprayer would have been pretty good there since there were so many targets. But I want to use the torch. And God, it's effective, isn't it? Is it sprayer or spewer? I'm pretty sure it's sprayer. I keep swapping. Sprayer. It's sprayer. I mean, ultimately, it's similar. It's a similar meaning. I guess one's more, you know, gracious than the other. Spraying is certainly less of a morbid, gross sort of concept than spewing. Spewing almost sounds like, you know, vomiting or something. It's gross. I love that words can have so many different meanings. I do really want to improve my vocabulary as a person. I'd like to have a greater range of the words that I use. I do note that I often use same-ish words and not entirely repeat myself, but I'd like to have, you know, just more words to use. Even if it, you know, all means the same thing. Relax, alright? This AI is a little bit more interesting than your average bear. He quite literally moonwalks back away from you into this strange area. And the reason is because he wants to try to draw you into the line of sight of Djura and his chain gun, which is a little indication that these two are working together. He would never go that far down for me. I don't know why he came so far as well, bugging, actually. So we could actually take this ladder up and go fight him. But I like the dude, so I'm going to leave it at that. I'll go have a visit with him later. There's a weird sound down here. It's not very comfortable here. It's very ominous. As we're up on the rafters, look at that. There must be about 10 of them down there. All circled around, almost praying. Like a ritual to a gigantic beast. And it's just dripping out its blood. The name of that beast type is a blood-starved beast. Because they are harvesting its blood. And down there on the table is the chalice that we seek, that Gehrman told us all about. The blood-starved beast was probably a thing before this place was lost, right? And the chalice and its, you know, value, you can see it right there. And use definitely came from, you know, Yharnam prior to this again, you know. The Yharnamites of Old Yharnam. Alright, they can see me. They know I'm here. Ritual's done, boys. They may have been using this beast to bloodlet, harvest its blood for their rituals with the Chalice Dungeons. And that's maybe why Gehrman's so sad, because this is so important to him. This ritual and this sacrifice. That it probably wasn't the beast that chained this fella up and started bloodletting. And in fact, they're not harvesting the blood, it's just pooling down there. So that kind of makes me think even more so that it's not their doing. I made it. First time. The bloody messenger. It's horrifying. Accessory adorned by naive messengers imitating the bandages of scourge victims, unaware of their meaning. The spatters of blood give it a particularly nice touch. They just want to fit in, so they see all these infected people. And they're like, oh, we'll wear those too. It's not a fashion thing, alright, messengers. They're sick. Do you not understand what blood is? No, it's terrible. Alright, we do have to drop down here. We're probably going to take some fall damage. Nothing I can do about it. And this is where my flame sprayer will come into action. Let's drop down to this end. And we'll funnel them in over here. Get some more blood bullets. Alright. Still more left. Just keep ourselves healthy. Keep him staggered with the flames. One left. There's still more. The way to deal with like this many opponents coming at you on all sides definitely feels like channel them in through a tight sort of spot, and that felt like the ultimate way to just cleanse them in holy fire all at once. That worked really well. We did use some of our bullets there. I believe I used 2 Quicksilver bullets and 9 of my blood bullets, which is perfectly fine because, you know, infinite. Looks like there's still a couple of them out there. 2 up there that aren't involved. We'll go back. There we go. The ritual blood. Hang on. Where's the chalice? Oh, my mistake, guys. That's the ritual blood that's been left there, that's been collected there. The chalice comes from the boss of this area. My mistake. It's still liquidated, but it's like jelly almost. When all is melted in blood, all is reborn. Disgusting. Will you stop screaming, alright? I just wanted to make friends. And you come in here, screaming your head off. That's why you die in fire. Note that the skin of the blood-starved beast, its like back skin, has been flayed and pulled over it like a cape. That hood that it's wearing is not cloth, I believe. I believe it's flayed skin. It's horrifying, really. You can't go wrong with this set, man. It's smooth. Smooth. Alright, guys. You guys are so loud, I swear. You even die loudly. Have you no respect? Alright, mate. And there's the broken cathedral. I suppose this was the old cathedral of Yharnam, when it originally started out more as a hamlet, more of a small little village town. And then they started to faff around with blood. Church hunters came about. They were more connected to the woods at this point as well, I would figure. Leading down the river that leads down to the woods, I think. And this is like cutting through the middle of the valley. So on the left side we have the... yeah, that'll be the lower side. So we have the lower side of Yharnam here on the left. And then the higher side on the right. And then we have the old hamlet and Old Yharnam down in the middle of the valley where they originally built. Closest to the ground. But also closer to the Chalice dungeons. To what was under the ground. How long do you plan on streaming? About 3 hours. Here we have a delightful shortcut.
What a thrill.
I'm really glad to see you playing this again. I loved your original playthrough, and while I have no interest in the game myself, I found your commentary on it absolutely fascinating. Well, it's just a great game with so much to it. There's nothing wrong with finding the gameplay, you know, not to your taste. Actually, I'm gonna stick with this. Alright. Love how clever they are. You know, they have lost their humanity. They are more beasts than men, but they are, even so, originally men. And they still have the intelligence to make a attack like that. Though you could, in fact, argue, so do beasts. I believe there was a wandering madness around here, but it might have run away while I was in that fight. More pungent blood cocktails. Wow, I didn't realize it gave me so many. I shouldn't have used a bunch of my insight to buy some. It's fine, though. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and get some blood bullets so I can burn through you. I don't want to fight both of them at the same time, but if I have to, I'd want to do it with a flamethrower. I mean, goddamn, does it make them easy? Look at that, man. Those guys take a real beating. But the flame sprayer just cuts through them like the butter. And they didn't use any bullets to do it. I will have to continuously track my blood bullets. It's not something I've really used that much of. Does not open from this side. We'll come back this way at a later date. There he is. Still clinging on. It's almost like he's looking at me. Maybe he is. First signs of water. There's something calming about this bridge. I don't know. Running water has always been, you know, a sign of life. Where there's water, life can, you know, succeed. And the calming sounds of it. With horrific beast howls and monster men shouting at me that it's all my fault. It's nice to take a quick breather. And just look at the shining, kind of glittering water down there. I love the visual effect. Oh, my webcam's in the way. There you go. See that? It's pretty. Oh my god! I totally did not expect this. 249 for a quick attack. Hey, look at that, man. These fellas, they don't know what to do about fire. Alright, before we go open that other shortcut, let's deal with the ambush. Because I can't target him, I can't automatically aim the throwing knife at him. But if I recall correctly, you can use the monocular to aim your attacks. You can. But somehow, you see it hanging in the air. It's hit an invisible, like, hitbox of that lamp. Let's try again. There we go. Surprise! Now burn! Sure does make them easy. The beast's blood pellets. Huh. Don't they remind you of something? Large medicinal pellets, supposedly formed of coagulated beast blood, banned by the Healing Church due to their unclear origin, grants a spur of beasthood. Ripping apart the flesh of one's enemies and being rained upon by their splattering blood invigorates one's sense of beasthood, feeding strength and euphoric feeling alike. I.e., it gives you a buff. The more you hit something, the stronger you get. You get just like a bonus of damage, and you just maintain that damage by keeping the bar up. But when you get hit, or you let the bar run out, the bonus disappears. It's a very good item. increases your damage. Lore-wise, it makes you think it's going to turn you into a beast, and I think I originally thought it would do something like that, and Panda picked up on that as well. But it doesn't seem to have an actual visual effect, which is a little bit disappointing, I would argue. God, I can't get over how easy it is to just walk through this whole area, destroying all the enemies with just the torch. It's completely unupgraded. It's true that I have leveled my Arcane a little bit, but it's 17. It's not that high. And the thing does already start with a B scaling, so I suppose it scales very well with the little I have. But it shouldn't give a huge damage increase. Not yet, anyway. More fire paper, leaving us with a total of 5 now. And 12,000 souls. So, why don't we go ahead and pop back. It's 3k right now. 3.5. 4k. 5k. Oh. Okay, so I need 4,581 souls to level up once more, granting me the strength required to use the Kirkhammer. Oh, no, we're not. Oh, God. Do we have enough?
Welcome home. Very well.
We do. We have over 300. More than enough. There it is. Beautiful. 16 strength. 10 skill acquired. We will not be leveling skill again in this playthrough. Oh, that was more than enough souls. Plus 3 acquired on my offhand weapon and my main weapon. Already. Like that. Oh, here it goes. Oh, God. It's just so cool. It's so visually cool. It's a tomb. It's like a tombstone that I pulled out and made a weapon out of. And the really cool part is that I slammed the sword into it and make a handle. It's just, it's such a simple design. Even down to the writing on the tombstone itself. The big rock, big square rectangle. I mean, talk about irony. I'm crushing you into the ground with my tombstone, and I'll leave the tombstone on you since, you know, it's your grave now. Ah, simple moveset. Just quick attacks of the, you know, your average longsword. We have thrusts and slashes. Solid weapon. But then you have the swings, the heavy swings. Some weapons out there have the ability to completely transform. So when you slot them with blood gems that are arcane based, it can swap it from a physical weapon to an arcane elemental type completely. Such as the Holy Blade that we're going to grab and use. It's going to be completely fire damage based, 0 physical damage based. But until then, I will be using this hammer and digging it. Let's do some transformation attacks. That's just my favorite right there, dude. So cool. Right, we have a main road here, some big boys hanging. And a very foggy back alley of corpses. You know, and I didn't actually mention that. The thing that's causing that white smoke is the burning of corpses. And I wonder if the smoke's white rather than black because their blood is ashen blood. I wonder if that has an impact. But if you listen very carefully, you can actually hear the deep breathing of this guy. That screams in power nearby beasts. And there's a big fat beast boy right here patrolling. But it looks like we sidestepped him, so. 10 quicksilver bullets. Nice. I could have just picked those up. I went and grabbed some earlier. Oh, we got a Wandering Madness. Oh no. They're quite weak to fire damage as well. We can see it. Down in the old cathedral. Broken. There's not even a roof. We see another one of those guys. He's actually like pulsating blood out of him because he's been scalped. It's poisonous blood. If it's ashen blood, you'd expect it to be more white than that. It looks almost muddy, like brownish. Anyway, Arcane playthrough. I know your weaknesses. Let's see if I can do it correctly. I'm going to throw a pungent cocktail, so he goes to the pungent cocktail, and use my flamethrower to do the damage. Throw another. Keep him distracted. Blood bullets. Throw another. Blood bullets. Another. Last one now. Blood bullets. Let's throw some Molotovs as well. I'm missing. There we go. Come on. Come on, burn, beast! Be cleansed in holy fire! It's the cheesiest one, to be honest. That's the cheesiest Arcane kill. Well, not necessarily, but it's the least involved one. The flamethrower, as you can see, can do a lot of damage if you can continuously chain attacks on something. And the reason that the pungent blood cocktails are so important there is that you can keep him sort of in one spot or casually walking over to it while you chain your damage into his back. Hidden knowledge, you know, his weakness and also the pungent cocktail being really impactful and useful there. And by beating him, we got the item that we were talking about earlier. The ritual chalice, found in the Church of the Good Chalice. Use it in a ritual at the tomb altar in the Hunter's Dream to break the seal of the old underground labyrinth. Let the chalice reveal the tomb of the gods. Let blood be the hunter's nourishment, and ye partake in communion. Now, how do I say this word? Thumeru. Is that it? Thumeru chalice. I believe that's how it's pronounced, but I might be wrong. Please let me know. Yeah, so this is used for the chalice dungeons. That's how they would go into the Thumeran chalice dungeons and the underground layers of the previous civilization before them. And apparently, interestingly, this civilization did interact with the Great Ones, with the gods, and took power from them. But ultimately, it destroyed their civilization. And they were like superhumans. They had ridiculous power, but it came at the cost of their entire civilization. And there you go. The little bonus area is complete. Old Yharnam taken down. Not enough power, just saying. Got it. Right, I'm working on it. I'm going to just start taking loads of this. I'm going to take all this old blood, Tony. I'm going to pump it into my veins. I'm going to become like a vampire, dude. So yes, Arcane playthrough, manipulating the weaknesses of different bosses, and we're going to do it in lots of different ways. Admittedly, that one's probably one of the least classy looking ones, because I just go, hey boy, go fetch this, and then I'm just casually like burning him in the ass in the background. Let's go talk to Gammon if he's about. Hey bro, I killed a thing and I got a chalice, just like you said.
The healing church and the blood ministers who belong to it were once guardians of the hunters in the times of the hunter Ludwig. They worked and forged weapons in their unique workshop. Today, most ministers don't recall the hunters, but they have much to offer you. And so, heed the message of your forebears. Ascend to Oedon Chapel.
Man, why does everyone pronounce it differently, I swear. Alright, let's just start leveling some Arcane. We have the Vitality, we have the Strength. We just want some Arcane. Not that anything we use really has anything to do with it except for my Flamethrower. Which I'm running low on the resources for that. Oedon Chapel. Ah, I see. Oedon. Alright. How's it going, dude? So I see the doors open over there, right?
Oh, the hunter.
Yeah, that's me.
Thank you. So that old girl, you told her about this place, right? Well, she don't offer me much in the way of conversation, but still, I'd rather see her alive anyhow.
Yeah, she's a bit horrible, that old lady. Sorry, dude.
If you find any sane survivors, well, send them along to Oedon Chapel, will ya?
Alright, mate. I will. Now we're going to get a little secret. I'm quite excited about it. It's going to be a big topic to talk about. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on it, to be honest. You don't care about me. You have nothing new to say, I don't think, but I'll just check.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy's your chat. No, our chat's the messengers, Tony. Alright. An elevator's been unlocked. And there's a secret right there. We're going to ascend over the chapel, but first, let's go ahead and have a look up top. Inside the little safe area that we know. With this balcony here. This is a really big topic. But hidden above is this. Formless Oedon. The name of the chapel, Oedon Chapel. Oedon Chapel. Noodle Chapel. However you pronounce it. There is a symbol here. A brand. A secret symbol left by Carol, runesmith of Bergenworth. The Great One, Oedon, lacking form, exists only in voice, and is symbolized by this rune. Those who memorize it enjoy a larger supply of quicksilver bullets. That's useful. Human or no, the oozing blood is a medium of the highest grade, and the essence of the formless Great One, Oedon. Both Oedon and his inadvertent worshippers surreptitiously... Oh god, this word's really fun for me. Surreptitiously seek the precious blood. Both Oedon and his worshippers. All about that sweet blood. All about that sweet blood. It's interesting that it has something directly to do with quicksilver bullets. The origin of quicksilver bullets comes across as quite straightforward, right? It's like, here's a bullet, and we made it out of silver because silver does damage to werewolves and beasts and stuff. Okay. Alright. But then you've got blood bullets. You can infuse your bullets with your own blood to make them do more damage to your foes. That's a bit weirder and a bit more complicated. I wonder what the process of that actually is. We just see him slam his arm into his thigh. What actually happens there? What's the definition of inadvertent? Because as far as my understanding is, it's just like they're worshipping him, but they don't even know it. And note the actual symbol itself is a horrifying, creepy face with 2 eyes. And then, like, this, like, 3-line slash down the middle. And it even has a nose. This beggar is just a beggar. Crippled and hiding in a safe spot. In a church where they would allow, you know, beggars to be around. So it makes sense that he would be here. Now, he's horrifying to look upon, that's for sure. I don't know if that has anything to do with Oedon, to be honest. He could just be hideous. I don't know. Maybe the influence of Oedon has impacted his physical form. But it's my opinion that this guy is just a good guy. A kind beggar. But he's currently being manipulated by this formless Great One that's just looming over him. And through him, he's like whispering in the beggar's ear to tell me to bring others here. To sort of like group up anyone that can. And then Oedon starts manipulating events to the people that are here. And we'll get into that about what happens with a certain lady right here. But there's something that happens to her. Nothing happens to this dude here. This something happens to the person that we get here. There's quite a lot that happens to the NPCs in a short time. All because they're just here in this chapel of Oedon. This formless Great One. Hello. It's another one of those guys that looks just like the guy who did the transfusion to us. I am still disappointed that that guy's never really explained and never shows up. Not a character. But we've ascended up, just as he said, and we're in the workshop. But what's up here? And why do we care, German? Communion. 2 runes all of a sudden, out of nowhere. This gives us max vials held by 1, and then the other one gives us max quicksilver bullets by 4. Another symbol left by Carol, the runesmith of Bergenworth. Several runes relate to blood, including communion, which raises the maximum number of blood vials one may carry. This rune represents the healing church and its ministers. Blood ministration is, of course, the pursuit of communion. Why I feel that there's such a difference between this rune and the other great ones and the Oedon one is that it's just so creepy, because it's like this one's just branded in. It's just a shape. It's just, here's a symbol. This one's specifically done in like a lot of thick blood. I don't know. It's gross. Run, they're sniping me. Come on then. Come get it. Now these guys are immediately a lot tougher. So let's slam them. Oh, your shield be too strong, bro. The wood stopped my stone slam. Bullshit, if you ask me. Oh, he's hitting me with them shots. Boom. Alright, looks like I'll just be using this form on these guys for now. Exclusive Bomber, thanks for the £5. I'm not an insect. So happy this is back, by the way. Me too, dudes. Let's keep on climbing. You can see all the weapons just dangling. Is that the DLC weapon? No. Kind of looks like it, though. You know, the curved blade one. And then they got the saws. But what other weapon is it if not the DLC sort of curved blades? I can't remember the name of the weapon right now. It's been too long, but... Alright, there's a big guy here. We gotta look out for. Oh no, I don't have my weapon, I don't have my, gun equipped. That's alright. Get him this way. Off the side with you. Down into hell. You can actually hear him sort of go, oh, when he goes down. Alright, I don't need the torch anymore, so let's put the gun back on. I can actually parry and such. Kaplow! Goodbye. By the way, I just noticed and remembered, when you do the running light attack with this, you do like a little shove. But what it actually does is it blocks attacks, I believe. You can use it in a defensive manner. Boom! Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. There we go. I thought I had knocked him off. Did he survive? No, he did not survive. Poor old guy. Crushed. Probably no, but you should be careful not to drink too much water. Causes low salt and sodium level in the blood. Don't worry, I'm filled with salt. Yeah, you do need to eat and accommodate for lower salt levels when you drink a lot of water, for sure. Here we go. A very cool note left by the choir. The sky and the cosmos are one. The choir. I didn't understand that the first time I found that at all, because obviously I didn't know what was to come. But it's just the understanding that when you look up at the sky and the clouds, and then you look up at the sky at night and the clouds aren't there, and then you see the stars and the cosmos, I guess they realized that it's not just a thing they can see. There's actually more out there. There's more life out there. It's just the concept of we're on a planet and we're in space. Using the most powerful weapon of all, gravity. Of course. It's the most impactful and effective way to kill. Including myself, because I die to gravity more than I'd like to admit. Go, 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 go! This fella does not use a chain gun, but he's a fan of the flamethrower, just like me. These ones have Plague Doctor masks as well. You see that? I wonder why these guys in particular wear masks. Looks good though, very steampunk, dude, very steampunk. Hey, look, it's Varian. It's true, it's true. The Radiant Sword Hunter badge. You know, we've been holding this Kirkhammer for but a moment. But a moment, and we already have the badge. The Sword Hunter badge, the original, right? We got that from the Cleric Beast. Ludwig was the first of many healing church hunters to come, many of whom were clerics. As it was, clerics transformed into the most hideous beast, and then the Radiant version, it's just got a light on it. The Radiant Sword indicates the heirs to the will of Ludwig. I guess people that he saw as his apprentices. The people that he imparted his will upon. These hunters, also known as Holy Blades, are what remains of an ancient line of heroes that date back to a very early age of honor and chivalry. I guess that age is gone. I don't know if there's a Dark Souls reference, like Knight reference type deal. Or just that, you know, Ludwig and his faction and his apprentices were very righteous and chivalrous and knight-like. Not necessarily Dark Souls reference. Locked! I cannot remember right now the exact location of the key or what it is that opens that. I'm pretty sure it is a key. They always like to do this, don't they? Put you in a tower with a big-ass drop. You can actually see all the way down there, just in the middle. There's sort of a black fog that shrouds it, hiding that door right there. Yep, that's it. And then there's the simple way. My way! Not really, it's a community way. It's just a way. So going down here, we have like a hidden door. Little passage you might miss. I wonder what's down here. The abandoned workshop. This is an exact, well, not exact. It's a replica of the hunter's dream. But the difference here is that the hunter's dream is actually the replica. This is the original. The hunter's workshop exists in the physical plane. The traders, you get a chest, a little weird chest. With the doll clothes. Discarded doll clothing. Likely a spare for dress up. A deep love for the doll can be surmised by the fine craftsmanship of this article and the care with which it was kept. It borderlines on mania. It exudes a slight warmth. Obsession. We were talking about that earlier, weren't we? We just cover myself. Because of the helmet, because I had a top hat. My head was protected from blood. Look at that. God, I'm a handsome guy. Oh. Oh, God. I'm sure you can barely contain yourself. But what if I put the dress on? Oh, my God. SXC. Goodness gracious me, I am an attractive old man. Well, dreams are what someone imagines in their head, right? So we know that there's a hunter's dream out there. A hunter's dream. But whose dream? Which hunter? I'll just say it now because I don't think it's too bad. It's Gehrman. I believe Gehrman is the person that... This was his original workshop, his original hunting workshop. This is where his hunters worked and all that. And at one point, somehow, created a dream version of this workshop and even changed it. You know, there isn't a garden here. There was never a garden around the back. If you go down there to the right, there's a gate in the dream. It goes to like a big ass flowery area, big hill. That's not here. That was never physically here. So it's very similar to the dream version, but the dream version's like an accentuated version of it. It's an imagined version of it. We have the old hunter bone, our first arcane tool, or hunter tool. And so it was Gehrman that ultimately set up the hunter's dream and decided to make it his workshop yet again, his hub. But how did he set it up and why? Well, it causes us to have infinite life until we complete our contract. That's a good reason. But how did he make it? How is he causing this infinite cycle of, well, immortality? We'll get to it eventually. The old hunter bone. The bone of an old hunter whose name is lost. It's said that he was an apprentice to old Gehrman and a practitioner of the art of quickening, a technique particular to the first hunters. A common technique that for some reason isn't so common now. I guess the church just never used it. It is most appropriate that hunters, carriers of the torch, who were sustained by the dream, would tease an old art from his remains. It gives me a temporary effect on my dashes and rolls, making me a little bit invisible when I do it. But the difference mainly is the recovery time. I can move around and attack a lot faster than a normal roll. Particularly useful in PvP and against a couple of enemy types. Not an amazing arcane weapon or tool even. There's a lamp in here. Oh my god. It's the doll. The real doll. 1/3 of an umbilical cord. 1/3 of an umbilical cord. A great relic, also known as the Cord of the Eye. Every infant Great One. Here we go, finally talking about them. Every infant Great One has this precursor to the umbilical cord. Every Great One loses its child and then yearns for a surrogate. The third umbilical cord precipitated the encounter with the Pale Moon. We're looking for the Pale Blood. The Pale Moon, which beckoned the hunters and conceived the hunter's dream. You can use it to gain insight, and, so they say, eyes on the inside, although no one remembers what that truly entails. I do. Well, I guess we all do now. Yeah. So, first actual solid evidence and sort of little push about, like, you're looking for the Pale Blood? Pale Moon. They sound similar. There might be a connection. A lot of, like, details to discuss there and think about. But I do wonder about who the child of the Great One is. There are lots of cases where a Great One does kind of have a new child. And we'll get to that when we encounter the cleric area and maybe do the choir area, sorry, and do some of the side stories as well. And we'll see that. But I also think it's entirely possible that Gehrman's not the surrogate. Yes, he's the one that uses the resulting power. He uses the resulting power to make the hunter's dream and create that workshop and all that he did. But suddenly, the doll that he made as a companion, because he's a weird guy, is alive and has the power to increase Hunter's power. And you know, when you hit her in the dream, she has a pale looking blood. I do wonder if it's not Gehrman that's the surrogate child, but this doll, since it has this pale blood. And the things that you see it does in the cinematics at the end of the stories and such. Maybe, instead of a physical entity and impregnating some human woman, the Great One saw this doll and was like, this can be my child. It's either that or Gehrman, anyway. And a small hair ornament. A small, very ordinary hair ornament. Although it has been lost for quite some time, one can still see the signs of the care with which the tasteful ornament was once kept. Its colour would stand out most brilliantly against a head of greyish hair. You mean like the doll hair? Yeah, do note that her finger twitches. The index finger on her left hand. It's so great, what a tiny little detail. Somewhere around this spot, you can hear a girl or a woman continuously going, yes. Almost like maddeningly so. Extreme pleasure so. I think it's the same voice actor as the fake Josefka. It could even be her. Maybe we just hear her because she's somewhere around this area doing something that we can't see. Maybe she came to this area because she wants to be chosen by the Great Ones, and it helped her understand how to do it. I don't really understand why we can hear her, though. It's almost like a remnant of her. Well, the old one probably talked to Gehrman in the dream, and the old perv said the same thing he said to you. You can use the doll if you like. That's such a great way to put it, isn't it? If you really want a child, you could use the doll, wink, wink. And it did. Oh, God. There's a thought. Because Gehrman's this weird guy who has a doll, and he's put so much love and care into the doll, when the Great One showed up and found Gehrman and this doll, he was looking for a woman for the surrogate womb for his surrogate child. Or her surrogate child, whatever. They're like genderless. So this pale moon sees the doll and goes, you'll do, and doesn't realize it's not a real human, not a real woman, because we're insects, it doesn't care. What a thought. And that's why the doll is the child. First beast that uses fire, even though he is, you know, weak to fire himself. You only find more of these in the chalice dungeons. Whoops. Get wrecked. And the beast rune. A third rune, all back to back. Secret symbol left by Carol. Transcription of the roar of a labyrinth beast. So they do come from the labyrinth, these beasts. That's where we found them. This is just the only one that made it to the surface. The bearer of the beast rune has extenuated temporary transformation effects. Beast is one of the early Carol runes, as well as one of the first to be deemed forbidden. Talk about forbidden stuff today. The discovery of blood entailed the discovery of undesirable beasts. The scourge of the beasts. Alright, let's put some of our cool gear on again. Have you thought about this? The doll's evil? I don't think she is. She was given life via the dream. Not that I think you're being serious. Oh, finally, another incense burner. It's been a while since we found one.
A night of curses. A night to remember. Wouldn't you say, friend?
He is going batshit insane. Unlike the mean group of ladies laughing at me because I'm stuck out in the night. He's just having a damn fine laugh. A good old jolly time. Sweaty clothes. Is that what you wear, chat? Is that what you wear? Common Yharnam clothing, well worn and damp with sweat. What a great description. So this is where we first find a snatcher. They've started to appear now. They want to take us somewhere. And then we have more of these men who look a lot more like beasts than a lot of the guys we've encountered earlier. I suppose the night is just continuing on and things are getting worse and worse. But first, I really need to know, or rather, I really need to come here because there's a specific item. It's our first arcane gem. And there is a kin type looming over the first arcane gem you can get. They're like squid guys, and they try to suck out your insight and kill you in the process. But I don't think that's their priority. That's some good damage. Oh no! Am I dead? I might be. No, that's my insight. He took 2 insight. Look at his face. No! Yeah, he doesn't give a damn about my, That's a nice shot there. He doesn't give a damn about my swings. Shaman Bone Blade, an extremely useful item in certain fights. A blade of bone coated with gruesome spinal fluid used by the old labyrinth watchers, in particular those presiding over rituals. When a victim is cut by this blade, the green spinal fluid temporarily numbs the senses, disturbing the target's gross motor skills. The blade, never intended for battle, must cut deep to be effective and will break. It actually causes enemies to attack one another, and it works in boss fights. And here it is. The Fire Blood Gemstone number 3. Oh, God, yes. A blood gem that fortifies weapons. Yep. Most waning blood gems provide rare special effects such as firebolt or healing. And this one is, in fact, a fire gem. It's our first one. So we'll be putting that straight into our arcane weapon of choice, the sword that we're going to be getting soon. In fact, we already technically have it. I don't think I need it to grab me. I do want to unlock the gate before I let a snatcher grab me. And one comes and appears like right outside the chapel anyway, so it works out. So this is how you actually open this gate without needing to buy that 10k soul item. I don't like... I'm suspicious of you, alright? I'm suspicious of you now.
Welcome home, good hunter. What is it you desire?
What have you got to say for yourself?
Over time, countless hunters have visited this dream. The graves here stand in their memory. It all seems so long ago now.
Well, I got a gift for you.
What? What is this? I can't remember. Not a thing, only I feel. A yearning, something I never felt before. What's happening to me? Tell me, Hunter. Could this be joy?
She very subtly like wipes under her eye there, and she cried out a stone, a tear stone. Isn't that interesting?
Welcome home, good hunter. What is it you desire? Over time, it all...
Okay.
Farewell, good hunter.
You're welcome. Thanks for the tear stone. Silver shining tear stone, used to change into a droplet blood gem that fortifies any weapon. A doll sheds neither blood nor tears, and thus its nature remains unknown. Whoever thinks this is precious must be troubled by severe naivety. Does it give me blood tinge or something like that? Created from a shining silver doll tear, this blood gem is quiet. A quiet but unfaltering friend that continually restores HP. The life essence of a hunter. Perhaps the doll's creator had wished for such a friend, albeit in vain. Aw, man, get wrecked, Gurman. He ain't got no friends, so he made the doll. But that was during his time as a hunter, so... What? Was he kind of a dick in his younger years, you reckon? Gehrman. Alright, so now we should have access to Ludwig's Holy Blade. 20,000 blood echoes. A trick weapon typically used by the Healing Church hunters. It is said, so it was commonly used, it is said that the silver sword was employed by Ludwig, the first hunter of the church, but when transformed, it combines with its sheath to form a great sword. The Healing Church workshops began with Ludwig, and departed from old Gehrman's techniques to provide hunters with the means to hunt more terrifying beasts, and perhaps things still worse. They left Gehrman, along with, what's his name? Lawrence left Willem at Bergenworth, and then met up with Ludwig and formed the church and the church hunters. And one of the common weapons they were gifted, like an army, was this. A kind of replica version of the Moonlight Greatsword. That's the truth of it. That's what it is. It's a replica of the Moonlight Greatsword. Obviously, really cool weapon, but pales in comparison to the real deal. Oh, that's totally true. Detail that I forgot. The doll is made in Maria's image because Gehrman loved Maria. Yeah, so it was like Gehrman loved Maria, but maybe Maria didn't love Gehrman back. And so he made a doll of her because Jesus is creepy guy. What's wrong with you, Gehrman? You fucking weirdo. And then the Great One used the doll as a surrogate, and she became real. or it's just gaming. All up in the air. But guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's little session. These episodes, I'm sure, are very long and unusual compared to what everyone's used to. For my recordings from Twitch to YouTube, generally like an hour to 45 minutes. But these are much longer than that, and I hope it's a good format for it. Either way, Kirkhammer's online. Sword is coming up. Chalice Dungeon's coming. Elemental weapons coming. We're going to go get both the Tonitrus and the sword in the next session. So we will be activating our Arcane playthrough all in one go. We'll have the swords itself with its fire damage, and then the Tonitrus with the bolt damage. 2 damage types for beasts and kin. And we'll be using them effectively in future episodes. Thanks for watching. See you next time.